How's everybody doing today? You're watching Slot Car Mayhem. I'm John, and this is episode 7 of the Glendale 65. And today we're going to talk a little bit about getting the track marked out for the roadbed, getting the roadbed marked out, cut out, and set back in place. One of the most important items I'm going to be dealing with is this little thing here that I made real quick. But I've got 3 different colored pencils here. You also have a blue pencil, and this will not be used for this particular task. A blue pencil signifies a precision cut. We don't need that. A black pencil signifies a regular, normal, everyday cut. And the red pencil signifies no cut. And that can be very important here, and we'll go ahead and we'll show you that as we move along. One of the first things we do when we do this is I'll start with the track, and I have it laid out where I want it, and I will just go through and draw on either side of the track with the red pencil. And when I'm done and I pull all this off, those red lines mean do not cut. So that's the point of that. And the black pencil goes in this little deal here. That's just a circle. And that just runs right along the track like that, and you push down on the pencil, and you see, now we've got a nice mark. This is 6 inches in diameter, so we've got to mark 3 inches from the red line or from the edge of the track. And this makes it really easy to go ahead and draw my perimeter lines. How that was made, real simple, is I cut out a circle on a table saw. If you don't know how to do that, I'm not going to tell you. You can Google it and see. I don't want to sit there and try to tell you how to do it and somebody hurt themselves and go, oh, well, you told me to go ahead and cut a circle out with a table saw. Go ahead and Google it if you want to do it. If not, you can use a bandsaw or whatever. It's just a 6-inch circle of wood with a hole in the middle, and I stick a pencil in the hole, and I run it right along the perimeter. And that's all that is, and that's how that works, and it makes it very, very easy. This picture here clearly shows why it's important to use different colored pencils when you're doing your marking and your layout. Here you can clearly see the black lines that are going to be cut along with the red lines that signify where the track is supposed to go. And I've also snapped chalk lines across, and these are where the joists are located, and I've run screws in the shoulder sections at each location, and this is just to allow me to locate this piece once it's cut back into its proper position. And those same holes will be utilized when we put the risers in and we raise the track up. But the key takeaway here is you can clearly see how confusing it can be if you don't have different colors for your cut lines and your no cut lines. Once the areas are cut away, this is how it begins to look. And what we're left with a roadbed that's 3 inches wider on either side of the track. And the main reason why I wanted to go 3 inches wider is in the case of this here, where you have if you want to use the shoulder pieces, you can see that the shoulder pieces will sit very, very nicely on there, and they're also 1 inch wider than the border, so it'll hide the edge of the border really nice if that's what you want to use. Me, I'm not going to use those directly. I'm going to go ahead and I'm probably going to make my own out of MDF. But that being said, this surface here will provide a ledge for the shoulder pieces, or in this case for the pit area, the entire infill will sit on these ledges. And if I want to put some spacer blocks, I can put some spacer blocks in there. But the whole thing will sit on these ledges from edge to track to edge to track, and it'll probably be a 2-piece fill, and just fill this whole section up. And that, of course, will be traced out with the blue pencil, and it will be cut as a precision cut, and that's how we make those things fit. The next step is actually going to be run all of the power taps for the overall track as a whole, and run the majority of my electrical system. Now that I have this open grid framework, it'll be pretty easy. But generally the next step, besides the electrical of course, is going to be getting this roadbed up on risers. And like I said earlier, this particular stretch of track, this long front straight, will actually be 4 inches above the joist. So these will be up on risers and raised up a few inches, and that'll be the normal level of the track. And as we go around the back corner under the bridge, it will actually start to descend, and it will be 3 inches below this track surface and go down between 3 and 4 inches. Then as it comes past the bridge and starts going back uphill, it'll actually cross over, and that track will be about another 4 inches above this level, giving us a 8-inch clearance between two of the tracks, and then it'll wind back down. So there'll be a lot of different elevation changes going on, and the MDF is very flexible, and even at a 1/2 inch thickness, all the bends will be very gradual, and it'll look very natural, and it'll flow very smooth. So far, I'm about halfway getting the cutouts done for the roadbed, and I've been very happy with the joist spacing that I've gone with. I've been able to utilize every single joist, and so far I haven't had to add any. I may add 1 or 2 joists, maybe near the ends over here, the end turns. I may slide a joist in there, but we'll see how that goes. But so far I haven't had to add any yet. Once we start getting stuff on risers, we'll see how everything goes from there. One thing I wish I could directly share with you is how much quieter these sections where they are open, how much quieter those are compared to the solid sheet sections. And that's got a lot to do with the fact that the solid sheet will tend to vibrate and act almost like a speaker and amplify the noise. But when we break these areas out and we reduce the amount of surface area that's vibrating, it gets much quieter. And before all is said and done, the track will also be isolated from the roadbed with some more of that yoga mat. I've got a piece of gray yoga mat sitting right there, and that will be sitting underneath the track and cover the complete roadbed as well. And that will do a great job of further isolating the noise. So I expect this to be quite a quiet running track when all is said and done. Okay, so that should wrap this episode up, and stand by for episode 8. I'll have the rest of the cutouts done, and I'll begin starting the risers in episode 8. And for right now, hats off to everybody out there who's considered essential for doing your jobs, the healthcare workers, the grocery store workers, the truck drivers, the delivery people, the guys running gas stations, what have you. And you know, I know it's not easy when you got employees who don't want to come in, or they're scared to come in, and that's understandable. And I know you guys are working late hours, and I know you guys are stressed, and you healthcare workers who are scared to death about bringing this stuff home to your families, I feel for you. And you know, I wish there was something I could do to help you directly, but I'm glad you're there, and I'm glad you're taking care of people and doing your jobs, because we need you now. And it's, you know, one thing that's I've always said is, you know, never in my life have I needed a celebrity, but I've always needed, you know, nurses, doctors, dentists, truck drivers, all that. So, you know, try to keep yourself in perspective at times, and remember who's important in this world. And we've got a lot of people stepping up to the plate, and you know, they're going to see us through this. So that being said, you know, I just want everybody else to stay safe and do your parts, and I'll do my part, and together we'll get through all of this together. So that wraps up episode 7, and if you guys have anything at all, just reach out to me, and I'll do what I can to try to show you what I need to show you. And just everybody, once again, please just stay safe and take care of your families. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.